The stars shine, they rise to the top. The ones that aren't in that category get exposed. It always begins and ends with the team.
How many employees in your career have you managed?
At one time, I had 250,000. And in my last job at Microsoft, I had about, I want to say 75,000.
So look, for those of you that are trying to break through the 125 and go to $1 billion, that are thinking about what kind of team do I need? How do I manage that team? How do I find that team? How do I align the team with the bigger opportunity? How do I incentivize the team? How do I make sure the teams are working consistently and collectively together to the bigger purpose? 300,000 employees in his career. This is why this guy's an expert on how to do this. And this is why I'm so excited about the collaboration, is we're gonna bring this knowledge, this information, this genius right here, out of this and over to you. When you're a $125 million business and you've gone through some level of systems integration to get there, all of a sudden now you're trying to position your business to go to $1 billion. You've probably got a management team that's never been to $1 billion. You've got advisors and consultants all trying to sell you something. You've got a lot of complexity happening in the business. Probably introduce some new leaders into your company. How, as a business owner, do you wrap your mind around the information and the advice you're getting at that moment to make good decisions to move forward?
You know, I think it always begins and ends with the team. So I think having the right team is something that every business strives for, regardless of size. But as you get bigger, it puts more pressure on the team. And, you know, it exposes your weaknesses a lot faster than it does when you're smaller. So your team gets exposed. The stars shine, they rise to the top. The ones that aren't in that category get exposed, and they get exposed very quickly. And it's the ability to react and have, you know, this sort of innate ability to top grade your talent on a regular and ongoing basis that really help set the foundation for what kind of culture you want to build to be able to grow and scale.
So that scaling your talent, because by the time you're 125 million, you've got some homegrown people that grew with you. You've probably brought a few outsiders in. Most CEOs, founders, if you're founder CEO at 100, even if you're a professional CEO at 125 million, if you haven't built something to $1 billion, top grading your talent is probably a new experience.
Oh, absolutely. And it's also hard to do because you have relationships, deep relationships with those people who help get you from zero to wherever you are. So the ability to do that with dignity, respect, do it in the right way, but find people who can do more than one thing well at a time. Because when you're growing and you're starting out, it's pretty easy to find folks that can excel at certain things. But you know, when you get 6 or 8 or 10 different plates spinning at one time, that takes a unique person to be able to do that. And the more you grow, the more plates you have spinning, so to speak, and the more complexity that's introduced into your business.
And so I know for the smaller businesses, you know, the ones that we helped get to 125 million and some that have gone well beyond that, the owner really has to rely on certain guidance and advice. And I think the thing you and I were sitting around talking about a year ago is that finding the right people that you can rely on. Because most consultants have never built a big business, so they wouldn't be consultants, they'd be business owners. And the technology consultants are trying to sell you more technology, so you're being sold versus helped in some cases.
Yeah, and they talk a lot about strategy and not as much about execution. And one of my favorite sayings, I think a guy, Mark Hurd, used to say it a lot, was strategy without execution is hallucination.
No.
And so the ability to find people who can, you know, certainly look around corners and have a big picture overview, but also that can actually get stuff done. While it sounds so simple, it's sort of a left brain, right brain skill set that you have to find those people that they may not have both on day one, but they need to be able to grow into that. And they need to be able to scale into that and be developed into that. And as a leader, you have to cultivate that. You have to nurture that. And it's a really important aspect of being able to have people that can get you to that $1 billion or $2 billion or $5 billion that we're talking about.
And this is where you and I, in this conversation we were having, because we're fully aligned with that, and I was sharing some stories and you were sharing some stories. And I said, that's what inspired me to start this business for those business owners to go on that journey. And you said, that's one of the things that's been inspiring you, is you helping these one-off people navigate and work through this, these business owners. I was like, you know, we should have a program, because now people can go to a trusted advisor. They can follow the same system we're helping billions of dollars of businesses right now, but they can actually engage a trusted advisor to guide them through how to find, attract, align, develop, and keep that talent in a way that will benefit the future growth of the business, not just what they're dealing with today.
Absolutely.
And you were like, dude, we got to do this thing.
Exactly. And it's a gap actually out there right now. I mean, there are no real playbooks that I know of for people to go from 125 to $1 billion. The businesses that get there, they've obviously got a great solution and they've got a lot of market traction. But it's sort of when you do that and you get there, it's sort of like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? And then there's a lot of pieces laying on the floor and they're trying
The reality.
to pick it up and figure out how to assimilate it and harmonize it and scale it to the next level. And that's what this program that you and I are working together is going to be so unique and different, I think, in the marketplace.
So our commitment is we joint ventured to develop and build the utility, the process, the procedures, the systems, the resources to help business owners that are truly dedicated to seeing themselves become $1 billion enterprise.
Scaling in a business is one of the hardest things that I think business owners and business leaders deal with on a daily basis. The most problems that businesses have are rooted in scale. And even if they're a flat business not growing, it's because they didn't enabling the scale. If it's a business that's growing really fast but got a lot of pieces laying on the floor, it's because they weren't ready to handle the scale.